why Otto Warmbier didn't survive North Korea. For the people that don't know Otto Warmbier, he is the guy that took the poster off a hotel wall in North Korea. They set him back in a vegetative state, and he died.
This is Otto Warmbier. He's a 21-year-old American college student.
My crime is very severe and pre-planned.
No, it was not severe. And I also don't know really if it was pre-planned. I think North Korea's government that killed this guy and effectively tortured him is full of psychopath narcissists that don't understand that somebody taking a poster off your wall really isn't that big a deal. You probably could have charged him for it. I think any other hotel would maybe get him for like vandalism, and it would be like a petty crime, petty theft, but not to the point where he has to be on a big news station and he's pleading for his life.
Travel agency. The destination was Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea.
On the early morning of January 1st, 2016, I committed my crime aimed at harming the work ethic and the motivation of the Korean people.
Are we serious? Are we serious? Yo, they wrote that out for him to say. There's no way. I aimed at harming the North Korean people's work ethic. He took a poster off a wall, bruh. You're acting like he took a on Kim Jong-un's statue.
After a night of partying, he allegedly took a poster from the hallway of his hotel. Shortly after, he was detained for perpetrating a hostile act against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
I understand the severity of my crime.
Now he's here, trying to save his life, at the mercy of a totalitarian dictatorship.
I have been very impressed by the Korean government's humanitarian treatment of severe criminals like myself. And if
Are we dead ass? Dude, when he got off the plane, that motherfucker got wheeled out. They put him in like a coma borderline. Are we serious? I respect how nice they've been treating me. When he got back, he died.
there are very fair and square legal procedures in the DPR Korea.
A communist regime that nurtures a deep hate for America.
The United States administration already knows about my act through the CIA. And
Yo, I actually always used to say that I would go to North Korea if they let Americans go there. I'm now changing my mind because I know they would kill my ass. I have talked so much shit about Kim Jong-un and North Korea in general, like so much shit. I couldn't pull up and be like, hello, I love your country. There's no prisoner camps here. You're not killing your people. You're a great leader. Your people aren't malnourished. No. You invented the hamburger. Oh, wow. Oh, your father invented the hamburger. Sorry. Wow. Really? Yeah, you just came up with the idea.
connived at my crime.
Soon, the case of this college kid will escalate the already tense relationship between two nuclear powers.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the...
And I also, bro, I gotta say, it's not, there's no feeling bad for Kim Jong-un, but like, Kim Jong-un is definitively a product of the environment he grew up in. Like, Kim Jong-un would be a regular guy if he had not grown up with his father being a psycho dictator that spoiled him and like ensured that he would be the leader of his nation. Like, his son, Kim Jong-un wasn't even supposed to be the leader of North Korea. His older brother was supposed to. But his father called him a pussy and said that he couldn't lead because Kim Jong-un was better and like capable of doing that shit because his older brother was too into music and was too womanly or something. Like, Kim Jong-un was literally manipulated from the second he was a child to be the leader of North Korea.
United States, they will be met with fire and fury.
Otto Warmbier, at this point, has no idea what he is about to face.
an American, is being held captive in North Korea. He was sentenced to 21 years of hard labor.
Those prisons are rough places. If something very bad happened to him.
Americans' fateful trip to North Korea.
Complete failure to recognize fundamental human.
And I mean, dude, you're not even thinking, like, not only is he in North Korean prison, he's in just foreign prison, which is already terrifying. Like, imagine you're a guy that only speaks English and you get imprisoned in China. You're in jail or prison and no one speaks the same language as you. Like, maybe in China they would. In North Korea, no one speaks English because they hate English. They hate Western ideologies. So you're literally just like getting screamed at. You don't know what's going on.
Rights.
The dreams of a young man.
You're fucked.
Destroyed by dubious charges from a ruthless regime.
This very press conference might be his last chance to save his life.
I don't want to say, yeah, and I know that, like, they have him. Oh, my God. I feel like this is just one of those scenarios where it's like, and I'm not going to see, I know Trump was president when this was happening, and I think what he's doing right now, and he's like, we need to forcefully take over Greenland. Fucking crazy, right? Like, Denmark literally says we could use their military bases, and, like, why is he saying that? For his own personal gain. It's fucking weird, right? But, like, this is one of those scenarios where I do wonder what would have happened if he was like, if Otto Warmbier comes back harmed, I will bomb North Korea. Like, if he just, like, flat out said that. Like, obviously he never would over this kid because he's not, like, I don't want to say it, but it's like, the U.S. does hold value over important figures in foreign policy, especially with obtaining, like, either prisoners of war or, you know, people that are held captive in other countries. Like, if he was not just a random college student, it would be different.
Son in my family. My mother needs me. My father needs me. My younger brother and my younger sister need me. I entirely beg you, people and government of the DPR Korea.
I think he is emotional, but what sucks is he has to put, like, this begging plea when, like, he's not in the wrong. Like, he did a slap on the wrist thing, and they kill him for it. He did something so minute. The counterpoint people are going to say is like, well, he was in North Korea. You should have known. But it's like, okay, bro.
For your forgiveness. Please. I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Otto Warmbier won't survive, and his case will bring
What'd he do? Took a poster off a wall.
the U.S. and North Korea to the brink of war. But the version of events many people remember might not be true.
What? Can't start out the video
Much
like
of our
that, Fern.
research is based on this extensive GQ article. Find the link in the description. New Year's Eve, 2015. This is Kim Il-sung Square in Pyongyang.
And it's not 2015 in North Korea. It's not 2015. New Year's Eve, different year in North Korea.
Thousands of North Koreans have gathered to watch the fireworks and greet the new year. Among them is a group of tourists. These are people from Europe, Australia, and the US. They're here with a travel agency, and they booked a 5-day, 4-night New Year's party tour for $1,200. Otto Warmbier is one of them.
I mean, that's crazy, dude, how much the country's changed since then that you were able to book a New Year tour in North Korea.
New Year's party tour for $1,200. Otto Warmbier is one of them. Now, after the fireworks, they return to their hotel, a 47-story tower located on a small island in the Taedong River. It boasts 5 restaurants, a bar, a sauna, a massage parlor, even a bowling alley. One of the restaurants revolves. Because of its location, people call it the Alcatraz of fun. During the tour, they'll drink at a fancy bar and eat at fine restaurants. And, on top, they get the full propaganda tour. They've already visited the 70-foot bronze statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the country's first 2 dictators. They're regarded as near holy figures. State propaganda has it that when Kim Jong-il was born at the site of a holy mountain, a double rainbow and a glowing new star appeared in the sky. Today, his birthday, the Day of the Shining Star, is a public holiday. Citizens spontaneously salute the massive statue.
Yeah, and they have his dead body in a fucking box. Or some shit. It's either him or his son. They have his dead body in a box that they, like, fucking visit. Or some shit. It's fucking weird.
Homage.
Yeah, he's in an eternal
Propaganda
slumber.
is everywhere. Billboards show images of missiles striking the U.S. Capitol. Other posters sport slogans like, "Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism." Disrespecting the communist dynasty can get you in big trouble. According to GQ, the Database Center for North Korean Human Rights confirmed a case of a factory janitor being prosecuted for bumping such a picture off the wall so that it fell and broke. Otto and the other tour members need to be careful. One wrong move, and they could face harsh punishment. Otto was raised in a suburb outside Cincinnati, Ohio, the oldest of 3 siblings. In high school, he was popular, athletic, and smart. At both prom and homecoming, he was crowned king. Speaking at his high school graduation, he quoted Andy Bernard from The Office.
I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Now, he's majoring in finance. Halfway through his junior year, he decides to do a winter break adventure to North Korea. It makes sense. He'll be studying abroad in Hong Kong in the spring. In 2015, the State Department's travel advisory for North Korea is clear. It recommends against Americans traveling there at all. On the other hand, the website of Young Pioneer Tours, Otto Warmbier's travel agency, said that traveling to North Korea was, quote, extremely safe. The tour operator specializes in taking...
Yo, that's literally cap. Like, if you, even in 2015, if you landed in North Korea and you just went, fuck Kim Jong-un, arrested.
You to destinations your mother would rather you stay away from.
Kim Jong-un is both fat and stupid, arrested, dead.
Parents had their concerns. But, as Cindy Warmbier later said, why would you say no to a kid like this? Early in the tour, the group is visiting this ship, the USS Pueblo. The North Korean military captured it.
I'm not suicidal.
In 1968. The North Koreans claimed it had entered their territorial waters.
I gotta rewind.
Captured it in 1968. The North Koreans claimed it had entered their territorial waters. Now it's a tourist attraction. When the North Korean tour guide explains that the ship was seized from the United States, he doesn't say the...
Yeah, and they always go, oh, with North Korea's might. With North Korea's might, we took hold of the ship. The very weak Americans died trying to fight us, and now we use it as a showcase that we're much stronger. Yo, we could flatten your country. Like, I mean, it's just it's garbage just being spit out of their mouth. Like, it is literally just like fucking king. Yo, nobody dick rides harder than the people of North Korea for Kim Jong-un. And it's not even because they want to. They have to, or they die.
United States. He says, the imperial enemy.
This is not political, chat, bro. I'm not putting a political warning.
In 1950 and 1953, the U.S. dropped an estimated 635,000 tons of bombs on the country, plus some 32,000 tons of napalm. Major cities were obliterated. 75% of Pyongyang was destroyed. During the war, as many as 1 million civilians perished.
Wow.
In 1953, a ceasefire ended combat in the Korean War, but a peace agreement was never signed. Technically, the North is still at war with the South, and with its ally, the US. Most Americans are unaware of this war, so much so that the Korean War is often referred to as the Forgotten War. Not so in North Korea. The North Korean tour guide explains what...
Some random history that I'm probably going to poorly explain to you is that the U.S. originally didn't even want to get involved in, like, Asian war, like, involvements. But during or right before the Korean War, something happened with Taiwan and the U.S. wasn't going to get involved. And because it was outside of like the line of protection or something that they had geographically drawn. And then there was something that roped in the U.S. to Korea. And then that like fucked everything for like the involvement of China and Taiwan. And then also like Russia and how they backed the North Korean. It was like the Iron Curtain involvement where they were trying to get South Korea to be taken over. And so it became this whole thing that the U.S. ended up getting in. I'm explaining this terribly. Yeah, it was like originally there was no plan for the U.S. to even enter the Korean War. Like we were just going to be like, we're out of it. It's not our problem, you know? And then they just roped us in.
82 American sailors that were captured along with the ship. They were beaten, starved, and only released after 11 months. Otto Warmbier is not visiting just any country.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I probably got info wrong there, and I explained it bad.
He's in enemy territory. Danny Grattan, his roommate during the tour, will later recount that Otto seemed a little bit shocked. To lighten the mood, he and the other tour members give Otto a nickname, Imperial Enemy. The rest of the tour goes smoothly. Sightseeing during the day, restaurants and bars at night. They even engage with the local kids by having a friendly snowball fight. One of the reasons people
You just throw an ice ball and kill one of them, and then that's a big deal, too. That'd be fucking scary, bro.
travel is to understand the world a little better.
Like, I feel like if I was in North Korea, I wouldn't want to do anything there. Like, I would just sit in a room and wait until it was time to leave.
Brilliant does that for learning. It helps you engage with ideas in a hands-on way, so you can unlock
It's an ad.
to everything on the platform. Back to January 1st, after the fireworks. When the tour group returns to the Yanggokdo Hotel, they split up. Some go to the bar. Danny Grattan heads to the bowling alley. They lose track of Otto.
I'd be hitting that bowling alley up too, bro. Oh my God. Second they say we got a bowling alley in the hotel, yo, I'm on the lanes nonstop.
When Danny gets to his room, around 4:30 a.m., Otto is in bed, sound asleep. Then, a day and a half later, the group is ready to get on the plane. It's time to go home. As the last members of the group, Danny's and Otto's passports are checked. The officers take an unusually long time to scan their documents. Then Otto feels a sudden tap on his shoulder. There are 2 North Korean soldiers behind him. They lead him away. Danny doesn't think much of it and jokes, "Well, that's the last we'll ever see of you."
Oh my God, and that actually was the last time they saw him. I wonder if he would be able, like, was there anything he could have told them that would have them let him go? Because, like, they know he took the poster. So is there anything he could have said that would have been like, even if he was like, I love this country so much, I wasn't trying to commit a crime, I just wanted to have this poster as a memento because I'm too poor to ever come back here, and this is just something that I really wanted to, like, know. Even then, it just doesn't matter. You stole it.
Months later, Otto is standing trial in North Korea's Supreme Court. He's accused of
I was going to start a North Korean worship cult in the United States, and this was going to be something that I wanted to spread North Korean ideologies to the United States. Like, even if you were saying some shit like that.
Violating Article 60 of the DPRK Criminal Code, state subversion. The central piece of evidence is this CCTV footage. It's time-stamped. The early hours of New Year's Day, 2016. It shows a staff-only area in the Yanggokdo Hotel. A shadowy figure removes a poster from the wall and appears to set it on the ground.
Oh, he was in a staff-only room? Do you think they would have noticed if he had taken something from the hotel? That's what I know this is in the hotel, but I'm saying his room. Like, that's more what I would have tried to do. Like, if I was going to take something, like something from the room.
The poster looked like this, a propaganda poster, and it contained the Supreme Leader's name. Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism. To remove it from the wall is a serious crime, a bid to impair the unity of North Korea's people. And that shadowy figure? According to the prosecutors, that is Otto Warmbier. The trial only lasts an hour. The Young Pioneers' North Korean tour guide testifies against Otto. A second witness takes the stand, an employee who says they noticed the poster had been taken from the wall. Otto's belongings are presented as evidence, and fingerprints are shown on a flat-screen TV. But most of the supposed evidence came from Otto's confession 2 weeks earlier. Here, he goes into the details.
Oh my God, don't tell me he actually didn't take the poster and they just framed a random guy.
On January 1st, 2016, New Year's Day, I committed severe crimes against both the people and the government of the DPR Korea. The task was given by the Friendship United Methodist Church. At the encouragement of the Z Society and the connivance of the United States administration.
He's saying that the U.S. government and the Methodist Church implored him to take the poster. Did he take it or did he just put it down? Like, I don't understand.
I came to commit this crime task.
The full story goes like this. His friend's mother, a deaconess at the Friendship Methodist Church in his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, instructed him to deal a blow to North Korea by stealing an important political slogan to be hung in her church as a trophy. As a reward, he'd receive a used car worth $10,000. Were he to be detained, the church would pay his family $200,000.
The aim of this crime was...
Oh, wow. So this was literally just all set up by North Korea, and they just framed a guy to, like, say that he was conspiring against the state?
To harm the work ethic and motivation of the Korean people.
He told his mother about his plans.
She cried and said not to do anything dangerous. I considered less, not wanting to hurt my mother. But since then, I received several alluring pressures from the Friendship United Methodist Church, leading me to finally decide on my crime attempt.
He then shared his plans with a member of the Z Society, a secret society at the University of Virginia that Otto wanted to join. He'd heard all of its members go on to get high-paying jobs.
He promised if I was successful, he would help me gain membership in the Z Society.
Finally, he decided to do it.
After I planned in detail to accomplish my plan.
Yo, and, like, do the North Korean people in this room believe this guy? Or do they also all know that this is a load of horse shit crafted up by some fucking dumbass on their end trying to say that, yeah, Otto Warmbier got paid by a random church pastor to fucking steal a poster. And that if he stole the poster, he would receive great financial gains and a used $10,000 car, as well as high-position job options when he returns. To steal a $5 fucking poster that is probably made of dog shit fucking material as well.
On the early morning of January 1st, 2016, I committed my crime of taking out the important political slogan from the staff-only area of the Angakdo International Hotel, aimed at harming the work ethic and the motivation of the Korean people.
And he explains...
What, the fucking one janitor and the maid at the hotel, dude? They probably have no guests at that fucking hotel anyway. I mean...
The plot goes all the way to the top.
The United States administration already knows about my act through the CIA, which is closely linked to the Z Society, and connived at my...
Yo, the Z Society actually sounds like some shit that's made up from, like, a Disney film. Like, genuinely.
crime.
The church, too, is linked to the government.
The Friendship United Methodist Church is not a typical church. It is very wealthy, with $42 million. That is why the United States administration...
Yeah, the fucking $42 million. I mean, that number might be accurate, across all of the Methodist churches combined. His local Cincinnati church does not have $42 million.
Has very close ties with this church.
He was manipulated, plain and simple.
I was clearly given the task by the Friendship United Methodist Church. I was encouraged by the Z Society. My crime is very severe and pre-planned. I regret my actions more than anything. I beg for forgiveness, and I beg for help in any way possible to save my life.
완비의 발언이 끝났습니다. 들으신 바와 같이 미 행정부는 우리 공화국을 반대하는 정말 더러운 행위를 감행하고 있습니다.
Experts agree that Otto Warmbier's confession seemed quite obviously coerced and staged.
Yeah. What? I mean, yo, how, dude, even the average North Korean person watching this, there's no way that they don't know what Methodists are. Like, I think they're just going, oh, the religion in the United States. Yeah, they always say religion's bad here. Ooh, they're conniving against us.
Korea has a history of coercing confessions, and the U.S. accused North Korea of broadcasting this one for propaganda purposes. A member of the Z Society said Otto had never approached them and denied any affiliation with the...
What is the Z Society? That's an actual thing? What the fuck? A secret society that was founded in Virginia in 1892? Remain anonymous because the belief that service, when provided anonymously, provides a unique philanthropic opportunity.
CIA. And the senior pastor at Friendship United Methodist Church said he didn't know of the deaconess mentioned by Otto. But this is later, after it's too late. Now, standing before the Supreme Court, all Otto can do is beg.
I was used and manipulated. Please, act to save me. Please save my life.
But his pleas fall on deaf ears. He's handcuffed and led from the room. He's been sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. 2 days later, on March 18, the Korean Central News Agency released the CCTV footage to the public. Western news outlets treat...
Bro, that's not him. Oh my God. I feel like the story I was fed was from North Korea. What the fuck?
The footage with suspicion. That figure could be anyone.
That shit's in 140p.
One story notes that the corridor is well lit, something that, in a country where electricity is scarce, is far from the norm for staff-only spaces. Some of his tour mates give interviews. One of them, Sarah McLaughlin, says there was an issue with the time shown in the video.
Your group had been out at a New Year's Eve party in the hours before that. Were you even back at the hotel then?
No, the time didn't match up at all.
According to her...
What the fuck? So from the start, North Korea planned on pinning this on someone, and they picked Otto because he didn't go out with the rest of them. Like, if Otto had gone bowling or something, they would have just picked somebody else.
The young pioneers didn't return to the hotel until around 3 a.m., more than an hour after the footage was allegedly captured.
Oh my God.
Another tour mate says in an interview with the BBC that Otto was careful to observe the rules. They'd been told not to take pictures of military staff or installations, and he'd been nervous when taking a photo with military personnel in the background.
Men for mig giver det simpelthen ikke mening, at den samme fyr, som stod og var så nervøs over at få taget det her ene billede, som måske var lidt på kant med det, vi havde fået at vide, vi måtte, så skulle kunne drikke sig så fuld og forvandle sig til et helt andet menneske nærmest, og så bare jorde op og prøve at stjæle et banner.
His roommate, Danny Grattan, also doubts that it was Otto.
We never mentioned anything remotely like that. We'd already bought some souvenirs. In my heart of hearts, the guy I knew for 3 or 4 days was not that type of guy.
Everything about the whole story was fabricated, in my opinion.
But why?
Otto's parents, Fred and Cindy, turned to the Obama administration for help, but the
Oh, was Trump not president at this time?
Warmbiers later said they were advised to keep quiet. According to GQ, Robert King, the special envoy for North Korean human rights issues, warned that drawing media attention to the ordeal might anger the regime.
Oh my God, and then they would just kill him. I don't even think that's bad, the government, because my point was like, if Trump was president, I feel like he'd be like, I'm just going to kill you guys, give him back. But then they would just kill him. King warned Warmbiers to expect a marathon, not a sprint. He recommended the family be quiet to avoid antagonizing the unpredictable regime.
Media attention to the ordeal
Yeah, because they could just do anything.
might anger the regime. What makes it even more complicated is that the United States has never had a formal diplomatic relationship with North Korea. There is no U.S. embassy in Pyongyang.
Yeah, so how are they even going to communicate?
The Swedish ambassador serves as the liaison for Americans, but the Swedes' calls and emails are met with silence. The days turn to weeks, turn to months. Efforts at back-channel diplomacy are stymied. The issue is passed from one administration to the next. No one knows where Otto is, what he's doing, or how he's being treated. Then, in early June 2017, some 17 months after his detention, the news finally arrives. Otto is unconscious. An extraction team of doctors and diplomats is put together. And finally,
Let me start by saying that I'm glad Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and I, along with a very talented team, were able to get Otto Warmbier back with his parents.
Fucking idiot, dude. Like, I mean, like, we got Otto Warmbier back. He's in a fucking coma. We got Otto Warmbier back. He's brain dead. He's, what the fuck? We got him off the plane. You got him back. You got a body back, bro. You ain't getting the guy back. Otto's not there mentally.
Otto Warmbier is returned to U.S. soil on June 13.
We're thrilled that our son is on American soil, and I'm able to talk to you on Otto's behalf, and I'm able to wear the jacket that he wore when he gave his confession. Otto, I love you, and I'm so crazy about you.
Bro, this whole fucking thing feels weird, man. Like, even there, I feel like the dad would be, like, crashing out.
Last night, being able to see Otto for the first time in, gosh, I bet it's 18 months, it was fantastic.
Mad at Trump? I'm not mad at Trump. I'm just saying that speech where they were like, oh, we got Otto Warmbier back. Like, it's not a victory, bro. He's not, like, make sure he's alive and well. Like, that'd be like, we got this person back. He's in a vegetative state.
Otto's not in great shape right now, and he's been through a real tough time, and it's great to have him with us, and I'm very proud of him.
Otto is home.
But were they supposed to leave him there? No, but don't announce on a press conference to up your PR that you got a guy back like you just killed Osama bin Laden, when in reality, the guy you got back, you didn't get back safe. That's all I'm saying. Like, they were met with soft ears, did nothing for 17 months, and then he comes back fucking almost dead.
When Cindy and Fred met Otto at the airport, they were shocked.
We walked over to the plane. We heard this howling, involuntary, inhuman sound. Otto was on the stretcher across in the plane, and he was jerking violently, making these inhuman sounds. Otto had a shaved head. He had a feeding tube coming out of his nose. He was blind. He was deaf.
We got Otto Warmbier back. Like, you see the point I'm trying to make? You see the point? That's all I was just trying to say. Can we lock back in on this poor guy that's dying, right? Like, that's all I was just trying to say is, like, why are you giving a speech like it's a fucking victory, bro? Like,
he was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center's Neuroscience Intensive Care Unit, where extensive imaging and diagnostic tests immediately began.
His vital signs were stable upon arrival and have remained so.
He doesn't need
He was blind, deaf, on a feeding tube, and convulsing violently. Wow.
help breathing, no signs of infection.
What do we know why? Do we know why they sent him back? Like, did North Korea just ship him back? Fern didn't fill that. He said the Swedish liaison couldn't contact North Korea. Nothing happened for 17 months, and then randomly they're informed that he's unconscious and he's shipped back to the United States. So what? Like, North Korea, almost killed the guy and went, oh, fuck, now this is going to be a problem. We got to send him back.
No dysfunction of non-neurological organs. His neurological condition, though, is described as unresponsive wakefulness,
Oh, were they, electrocuting him or something?
what used to be called a vegetative state. He blinks. Sometimes his eyes open, but he isn't aware of his surroundings and doesn't respond to verbal commands.
Oh, are you not supposed to say that anymore? I thought that was like a fucking medical term. No, it just says it's unresponsive. A vegetative state or unresponsive wakefulness syndrome means a person is awake but shows no signs of awareness, purposeful response to their environment, and this is due to severe brain damage. Yeah, so they were torturing him.
To see how he came home was too much for us, but I almost passed out, but I got it together and I rode in the ambulance with him because I did not want him to be alone anymore. He'd been alone for way too long.
He's surrounded by his loved ones, but his condition soon worsens. He develops a high fever, 40 degrees Celsius. Fred and Cindy Warmbier are told that he'll never wake up, and they ask to have his feeding tube removed. 6 days after his release, Otto is dead. The news travels across the world.
The family of Otto Warmbier has said goodbye.
Valid. That's what I'm saying, dude. When you get told that they're never going to wake up and they're just going to be perpetually kept alive on machines, it's time, you know?
Nach dem Tod des
Sad.
Studenten Otto Warmbier.
Otto Warmbier скончался после возвращения из тюрьмы в Северной Корее.
Otto Warmbier murió pocos días después de ser entregado a los...
And what's so bad is we won't even know what they did to him, right? Because it's like, if he had woken up, he could have been like, Jesus Christ, and told his story of the North Korean prison camps and how they tortured him and all this other stuff, but he's fucking dead. So it's just they literally just got sent a body.
The American student who fell into a coma while in North Korean custody and has died.
On June 22, in Wyoming, Ohio, more than 2,500
There's a city named Wyoming, Ohio.
people attend his funeral. The condition in which Otto Warmbier came back to the U.S. and his
I did not know that there were cities that had the state name for a city. 500 people attended his funeral. Wow.
Wyoming, Ohio, more than 2,500.
They always say the impact on the people you had in your life is determined by how many people show up at your death.
People attend his funeral. The condition in which Otto Warmbier came back to the U.S. and his subsequent death are discussed nationwide. He left the United States in good health. He returned on the brink of death.
Do you know what happened to him in North Korea?
Untrue. I don't think it's untrue, but I think how you affect and touch people in your life does matter, right? The people that care are the people that show up.
I don't.
Content note: the following chapter discusses suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. Upon his release, North Korea gave an explanation for Otto's state. They said he contracted botulism, a rare and severe kind of food poisoning, after eating a meal of spinach and pork. After he fell ill,
They were probably giving him fucking slop and actual terrible food, dude. They weren't keeping him in good condition.
they gave him a sleeping pill, to which he had some sort of unexpected reaction, which sent him into a state of unresponsive wakefulness. But U.S. medical experts are quick to dispute this story. 3 doctors, experts in neurology, ran tests on Otto while he was still alive. At the request of the family, they hold a press conference to give their opinions.
Those tests did not reveal any evidence of active or chronic denervation, nor any repetitive stimulation that would suggest active botulism at this time.
The North Koreans,
So they just made that shit up. I mean, yo, that's actually fucking unreal, dude.
Teams are lying, and the Warmbiers have a different story.
They tortured him. They intentionally injured him. It looked like someone had taken a pair of pliers and rearranged his bottom teeth. He had a large scar on his right foot.
They destroyed him.
They purposely and intentionally injured Otto.
On September 25, 2017, Fred and Cindy Warmbier gave an
I do love that they're doing this now, where they're like, because I didn't keep involvement in this after this happened. I just had known that he had died. But I love that they went out on news stations and were like speaking against it.
Interview on Fox and Friends. Trump apparently watched. This becomes the narrative. Physical torture.
Yeah.
And, as a consequence, brain damage. But soon, serious doubts emerge. Let's go through his injuries one by one. First, there was a noticeable scar on Otto's right foot. This is Dr. Lakshmi Kota-Samarko, the coroner selected to conduct an external autopsy. Fred Warmbier had noticed the scar, but had Dr. Samarko?
Physically, as far as wounds, there were a few small scars that we documented. There was one that we really couldn't explain for medical instrumentation, which some of the other scars we could. But there wasn't anything on the external examination to indicate, other than that one scar that we couldn't explain, to indicate torture.
The Warmbiers opted against a complete autopsy, offering no reason for this decision. But Dr. Samarko did perform an external inspection. Later, in a lawsuit against North Korea, an expert witness cited the scar on Otto's foot as potential.
A lawsuit against North Korea. How's that working? Hey, Kim Jong-un, we're suing you. No, you're not. And then they just move on. Like, how do you sue North Korea?
Evidence that he was subjected to torture, possibly electric shock. But does this injury prove Otto was tortured? No. Then there are his teeth.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say the rearranged teeth. I would assume that if he had gotten tortured, they were like zapping his brain. Like that shit they were doing during World War II at that school. Or what? It wasn't a school. What was it called? With that doctor? Unit 731. Yeah, Unit 731 and Shiro Ishii. And they would like zap people's brains and shit. Like they would just keep, it would be like electrocution torture, but it would be like to change your mind.
Fred Warmbier said it looked as though Otto's bottom teeth had been rearranged. Dr. Samarko couldn't confirm this.
We also consulted our forensic dentist, Dr. Wright, and I had him take a look at the imaging, specifically dealing with the lower teeth and mandible. He agreed with us that there is no evidence of trauma to the lower teeth or mandible.
In the lawsuit, this finding was disputed. Two of Otto's private dentists testified that his post-mortem dental x-rays, when compared to previous x-rays, indicated that some of his lower teeth had been bent backward, movement consistent with an impact injury. The New York Times had reported that Otto had been repeatedly beaten. That's not impossible. An ex-North Korean spy who was familiar with, though not directly involved in Otto's case, said he'd heard Otto was roughed up by prison guards.
그분이 감옥에 있으면서 간수들이 있잖아요. 간수들이 많이 때렸대요. 왜 때렸냐면 언어가 안 되잖아요.
He also continues to say that there might have been waterboarding. To him, that's standard practice, what he'd call
non-physical, like it's physical torture, but not something that would show up in like wounds.
Battery, rather than torture. It's difficult to say whether this ex-spy is credible, though. And even if Otto's teeth were bent backward, it's impossible to know for certain what caused that. Finally, the biggest injury of all, his brain injury.
The most important diagnostic test thus far was a magnetic resonance imaging scan of the brain. This study showed extensive loss of brain tissue in all regions of the brain.
In other words, the damage is universal, and scans show it occurred all at once. There's a technical term for this, an anoxic encephalopathy. It means an injury caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain. So either blood ceased to flow to Otto's brain, which would result in a lack of oxygen, or Otto stopped breathing.
This pattern of brain injury, however, is usually seen as a result of cardiopulmonary arrest, where the blood supply to the brain is inadequate for a period of time, resulting in the death of brain.
Oh my God, are they saying that he took his own life when he was in prison?
In tissue.
In general terms, one of the more likely causes of a cardiopulmonary arrest in a young person would have been a respiratory arrest.
In all likelihood, Otto stopped breathing. Any number of events could have caused this. An allergic reaction, choking, near drowning, anything that might prevent oxygen from reaching his brain. But which of these events was the cause? There's no way to know.
I hate that.
We have no certain or verifiable knowledge of the cause.
How could he have done that? Asphyxiation?
Or circumstances of his neurological injury.
A cause that could almost certainly be ruled out was repeated beatings. Repeated beatings to the head would have caused asymmetrical damage, with some regions being affected more than others. Also, scans revealed no fractures of the skull. Despite all this uncertainty, the Warmbiers insist on torture. And the question of whether Otto was tortured or not is not a medical side note. By now, it has the potential to escalate a simmering conflict between two nuclear powers. A year and a half before, mere days after Otto's detention, North Korea had carried out its fourth nuclear test in defiance of international sanctions. It also launched a long-range missile. In September 2016, it performed another nuclear test. By 2017...
Bro, I just don't understand how, like, Russia and China don't also want to just step in and stop them. Because they're their own powers that, you know, obviously are semi-allied. But, like, they have to witness Kim Jong-un and go, this is fucking crazy. You know, like, Russia does its own shit. And, you know, right now they're in war with Ukraine and it's horrible. But they're getting, like North Koreans are allies and aiding them in this. So I'm like, it just has to be like they're turning a blind eye. Like, there's no way they're like, yo, you gotta stop. Like, that's because that's worrisome for them as well, no? I feel like Kim Jong-un's, like, not sane in the way that, like, Xi Jinping is in like, how he's gonna hold certain, like, conflicts, you know? Like, you don't want... Like, I think it's more scary if Kim Jong-un gets nuclear power than Xi Jinping, you know? Like, but I mean, obviously Xi Jinping does have nuclear capabilities, but I'm saying, like, that's less scary for the world, you know? Like, even on either side, you're seeing this. You're like, maybe we shouldn't give this dictator nuclear power. Not give it to him, but allow him to have that.
The year of Otto's return, the confrontation between the U.S. and North Korea was near the
Who's Xi Jinping, leader of China?
Boiling point.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
It was the beginning of the 2017-2018 North Korea crisis. Meanwhile, Otto Warmbier's case took on an increased political weight. Trump had adopted the torture hypothesis as fact.
Trump need to press that red button. Terrible idea. You nuke North Korea, they're going to fucking nuke everybody else before they die. It's the same shit, dude. It's just mutually assured destruction. That's why nuclear war is like the max out for countries. It's just it enables you to have like an ultimate last defense of like, okay, even if you wipe my country off the map, we'll still kill you.
Senator John McCain said Otto had been tortured and murdered. Senators Adam Schiff and Marco Rubio also used the word murder. Fred Warmbier's analysis was that his son served as a sort of human shield.
North Korea doesn't do anything by mistake. It was their fourth nuclear weapons test, and they had a lot of things they wanted to cover, and they felt like Otto was going to provide them the security they needed to get away with these things.
Oh my God, to frame Otto to say that, oh, we need to escalate our military power because the Z Society and the Methodist Church and the CIA are all three conspiring against against North Korea, that we have to scale our military power.
Then, in 2018, Michael Flukinger, the doctor that helped bring Otto back to the US, revealed a new piece of information to GQ. The staff at the North Korean hospital where Otto stayed told Flukinger that they received him the day after his trial, and he was already unresponsive.
What? So he was in, like, a coma for a year?
They had to resuscitate him, then give him oxygen and put him on a ventilator, or he would die, Flukinger told GQ. Also, there's a brain scan dated April 2016.
We received copies of brain MRI images from the medical personnel in North Korea. The earliest images...
So how did he eat pork and spinach? BN, that was already disproven, bro. He did not have botulism. That was a lie that North Korean officials said to the United States to say that they didn't torture him.
Are dated April 2016. Based upon our analysis of those images, the brain injury likely occurred in the preceding weeks.
Of course, the North Korean story might be a lie. It might not be true that he was hospitalized the morning after his trial, but there is strong medical evidence that he sustained his brain injury in the days or weeks after March 16. In any case, Otto Warmbier...
Why the fuck did they not return him then? You know what I mean? Like, if they did that to him right then, why did they not... Like, why did they keep him? Like, that doesn't make sense.
But it's very unlikely that he was actually sent to one of the notoriously horrific North Korean labor camps. American detainees are treated differently. According to GQ, Otto Warmbier most likely stayed in a used guest house in downtown Pyongyang during his detention. The hard labor he was sentenced to would likely have been planting soybeans and making bricks. Grueling, backbreaking work, but nothing compared to coal mining, which is typical for North Koreans. North Korea needed him as a bargaining chip, and bargaining chips don't have...
Oh my god, so maybe they didn't actually put him in that state. They just needed him as, like, what, like a trade? Like, as fucked as it sounds, like a trade token. Like, it's something they could fall back on.
Have much value if they aren't in good condition. And in a sense, he was.
We believe that for somebody who's been bedridden for more than a year, that his body was in excellent condition, his skin was in excellent condition, and we didn't see any evidence of decubiti or bed sores.
In its article, GQ proposes a different theory than torture. During the 2 months between his detention and his confession, Otto was likely subjected to relentless interrogation for as long as 15 hours per day. The only respite from the interrogation would have been North Korean propaganda films. Previous prisoners were told their government had forgotten them. Some fell into debilitating depressions, even attempting suicide. At trial, so hours, weeks, or days before he supposedly fell into a coma, he was visibly desperate.
Please think of my family. I'm the oldest son in my family.
GQ speculates that in the hopeless hours after his sentencing, Otto may have attempted to take his own life. A lack of oxygen to his brain could have caused his injury. Of course, this theory is just one of many. An allergic reaction to a sleeping pill, an excessive administration of drugs, a suicide attempt, a heart attack, a form of torture that left no obvious lasting marks. It could have been any of these things. Without Otto here to tell the tale, we may never know the truth.
I mean, like, couldn't he, I'm just saying, I don't know if this happened. Couldn't he have tried to hang himself, like, 3 days after? Cut oxygen to his brain, didn't die. They save him, but now he's perpetually in this state, and the wounds that would be on his neck would have healed by the time he was sent back. He wouldn't have neck scars because he wouldn't have any laceration that would have been there would have been healed by the time they returned him.
In May 2018, something weird happened. Trump tweeted that he was going to meet Kim Jong-un in person, and everything changed.
Getting a good picture
I'm instantly asking that motherfucker what the hell they did to Otto.
to everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
After the Singapore summit, Otto's name all but disappeared from Trump's lips, replaced by the name of Kim Jong-un.
And then we fell in love. Okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters. And they're great letters. We fell in love.
The previous year, Trump tweeted that he tried so hard to be Kim's friend and referred to their relationship as
It's a very special relationship.
In 2019, when asked whether he thought Kim knew about Otto's case, his reply was startling.
I don't believe he knew about it.
The Warmbiers were outraged.
Get the fuck out of here.
Trump had helped them bring Otto home and relisted Kim Jong-un's country as a state sponsor of terrorism. Now he seemed to admire him.
Well, he is very talented. Anybody that takes over a situation like he did at 26 years of age and is able to run it and run it tough. Very few people at that age, you can take 1 out of 10,000 probably couldn't do it.
Otto Warmbier was many things.
1 out of 10,000. Historically, the average person in power was younger than him. Bro, like, why are we glazing Kim Jong-un for being able to take over a dictatorship that was fucking handed to him? Like,
An all-American boy, an unlucky tourist, a loving son. But on the international...
Kim Jong-un was notably a bad student. Like, that was said of, like, he didn't do his homework, didn't show up on time. He was lazy. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? We're just glazing Kim Jong-un.
Stage, he was a pawn and a symbol. Pyongyang deployed Otto on the chessboard of politics, using him domestically as a mouthpiece to spread anti-American propaganda, and internationally as a bargaining chip, a hostage to be traded for the easing of sanctions or other U.S. concessions. For the Trump administration, Otto Warmbier was useful as a symbol, driving the narrative that he was tortured by a barbarous regime and possibly using his death as a means of psychologically preparing the American public for war, the threat of which Trump hoped would make Kim back down. Otto was sentenced to 15 years hard labor for an alleged crime that in most countries would be considered, at worst, vandalism, based on a sham trial. No matter what happened to him,
I think in most countries you wouldn't even get arrested. I think in most countries you would probably get a small fine, or they would be like, you're just banned from coming back to the hotel.
that in itself is damning enough. And even if he likely never had to go to one of North Korea's prison camps, they are hell on earth. Uncertainty about his cause of death.
What'd he do? Take a poster. And it might have not even been him. Everybody that was with him said that he wasn't even at the hotel at the hour that they said that he did it. And you can't see a face. You only see the figure of a man. And there's a lot of men in the world. So, like, that shit just pisses me off. I fucking rip Otto in the chat because that was fucking horrible. Like, wow.